So why am I here to talk about soil? So there's a growing movement that's happening right now in cities across America and in Baltimore, where people are farming in the city. And I work at Boone Street Farm, and we've had the extreme pleasure of growing food and providing food for our neighbors, our neighborhood, and our city. And it's exciting, because people are excited about food. They are excited about the taste, and that's why I'm here today. So I'm actually going to start with talking about the soil below the city. So what is soil? Soil is made up of inorganic and organic materials. There's life in soil. If you take a teaspoon of soil, there are literally hundreds of thousands of microorganisms living in there. There are armies that are working on breaking down organic matter to bring nutrients to our plant life. So let's take a metaphorical 6-foot machete, cut out a cube of land, jump into the soil pit. You're looking at a soil profile. This is something that's formed over geologic time. This is formed on a geologic time scale over thousands of years. So the process of soil formation happens from the weathering of the bedrock materials, your climate, your landscape shape. All of these factors create a unique soil in every biome. There are actually 25,000 different types of soil in the United States alone. So let's talk about urban soil. What's different about an urban environment? Picture your quintessential urban environment. What do you see? You see buildings. This is a densely populated metro area. This is a habitat for lots of people. We have buildings, we have transportation, roadways, sidewalks. These are all things that are impervious surfaces. They do not allow water to infiltrate down into the soil that's lying dormant below. So, what does that mean? Our foundation. So how do we build a building? We come out, excavate the land. So we remove that soil that formed over thousands of years and throw it away, put it somewhere else, right? And then we come in, we put in a concrete foundation. Architects are interested in the strength and durability of their soils. They want to see compacted soils, something that's going to hold our buildings upright. We don't want anything that's going to fall down. So the properties that we are looking for typically in a foundation actually cause our soils to be extremely compacted, and we lose the oxygen and the water supply that would typically be held by our soils. So then what happens to the green spaces in our city? They're sort of the afterthoughts, right? Think about a tree pit. It's like a truth window, right? It's going back down into the soil below our roadways and our sidewalks. But the soils that are in our cities are affected by these buildings that are around them. The concrete materials are actually releasing calcium and increasing the pH of our soils. They're making them more basic. We're also doing so much construction in our cities, and we have so many buildings around that our soils tend to be extremely compacted in cities. Cities are densely populated. We have manufacturing. We're combusting a lot of gas. We're driving cars. There's a lot of pollution in cities. So it's really integrally important if you want to use the green spaces in your city, if you want to use the green spaces behind your house, you need to get your soil tested. You don't know what's there. So step 1, get your soil tested. Step 2, know the history of your land use. Make sure you know, as far back as you can tell, what was done on that piece of land, because you don't know. The land use changes all the time. Soils in the city are extremely altered. They're disrupted. They're not natural. Okay, so that brings me to agriculture. Why would you bring agriculture to the city? Agriculture is a relationship between people and the land. What does a city have that a rural area doesn't have? We have people. People, they grow food. They can help us grow the food. They can help us eat the food. People are a resource. So bringing agriculture into the city actually makes a little bit of sense in that way. We don't have a lot of land, but that's okay. So let's think about growing food in the city. So I live in a neighborhood called East Baltimore Midway. Over the last 30 years, the infrastructure, in some parts of our neighborhood, the buildings have become somewhat degraded. They've been torn down, and what happens when we tear down a building? You actually come back in, you excavate your foundation, take it out, remove it, and we bring in soil from outside of the city. So Maryland soils are actually very weathered soils. They're older, and if you think about on geological timescale, they're older soils, more weathered, and they have a high amount of clay, very densely packed clay. And so I hear people often complain about this. My soils are too clay. Well, that's actually our natural soil. So we bring in this soil from outside of the city and we fill it back in. We compact it down to a certain level and we plant our grass seed. So we have green spaces. And these vacant lots are abundant, actually, in my neighborhood. And that's where we started the farm. So what is it about bringing farming into the city? So agriculture can actually help to heal the land. We have issues with our soils in the city. They're highly compacted. When soils are compacted, they do not allow water to infiltrate, and therefore we have excessive amounts of runoff. So therefore, when our farmers are coming in and working with this land and improving the quality and the health of the soil, they're actually allowing the water to infiltrate better and to reduce the runoff in our cities. So I'm going to back step for 1 second. So I want to think about a city again and how cities are different than. So what is this impact that we have when we completely cover so many surfaces in our city? So soils are so important. They provide so many functions to us in our environments, one of which is filtering our groundwater, filtering our rainwater. They are a filtration system right before it goes back into our groundwater system. And if you completely cover so in Baltimore City, 40% of our soils are covered by impervious surfaces. So what does the city do to respond to that? If you cover 40% of the land in a city center, what happens when it rains? Well, cities actually have to create the infrastructure to sidestep the fact that our soils are not there to perform this role and to do this job. So we have storm drain systems, we have sewage systems, and we even have water mains to bring our water directly into our households. So soils are so important that our cities actually have to build infrastructure just to do the functions that soils would have actually naturally provided us. Okay, so I'm going back to the neighborhood, East Baltimore Midway. So we have been growing food in this neighborhood for 3 years now. And it's a lot of work. And thank God we have a lot of people in this city who have come out and volunteered. Shout out to all of the Boone Street folks that are here today. Everyone that's worked on the farm with me knows it's a lot of work. And I don't always have time to make my lunch, so what do? I walk over to the corner store. Our neighborhood is known as a food desert, and I really like tortilla chips. So when I grab a snack, sometimes I grab Doritos. Okay, so the blue and red spices on those Doritos, they taste so good. I know that those chemicals were made, or those spices were made in New Jersey in a chemical plant, but they still taste really good. So this is what we're battling in our neighborhood. Our kids are going to the corner store after school and they're picking up a bag of Doritos. They taste good. I know they're not good, but they taste good. So how do we get the kids excited about fresh food? This is a new thing for some of them. So we have a garden club. This week I had met with them for the first time in 2 months, and I asked them, Okay, guys, so what was your favorite food that you ate at Garden Club in the fall? And, we had lots of snacks. We had goldfish, we had graham crackers, we had granola bars. The kids said salad, pesto. They remembered every ingredient in the pesto sauce that they made. Pickled radishes. Who would have thought? Urban agriculture is not going to feed everyone in the city. It's small. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of land to heal before we can grow more food in the city. But we can't think small. We have to think big. And if we can get the kids to be excited about pickled radishes over Doritos, that has the potential to have an impact on them. It has the potential to change their diet for a lifetime. And that is a big impact. Thank you. Support your local farmers.